Hey, it's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's the Thursday tape breakdown here on Celtics Roundtable. We are powered by CLNS Media and Greats. Use the promo code Celtics Roundtable at greats.com to save 15% off your first sneaker purchase. I'm Matt Ignal. Helping me out to break down this game are my brother Jonathan and Alex Kungu. We're coming to you after the Celtics fell to the Bucks in their home opener, 108-100. Guys, you can see with how much the Bucks trapped and how aggressively they trapped on the pick and roll that this is a game that the Celtics really could have used Gordon Hayward to sort of take that playmaking burden off of KYRIE IRVING. What are your thoughts on this, Alex?
Yeah, this is definitely probably one of the worst teams you could have played considering the circumstances. The Bucks are long, they're athletic, they're physical, and going against a team that, quite frankly, doesn't know each other on the offensive end, it was the perfect recipe for disaster, and we saw it play out live.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter, I think the Celtics went 4.5 minutes, maybe even longer, without a field goal. There was just that one Jaylen Brown free throw, and that allowed Milwaukee to open up a 7-point lead. Jonathan, we haven't gotten your take on what's happened with Hayward here.
Yeah, I mean, even if the Celtics were healthy for these two games, there's a very good chance they would have started 0-2 anyway. But it's everything we've heard today seems to be positive news out of Hayward's camp in the Celtics, and just wishing him a speedy recovery. Hope he can get back. I don't think it will be this year. I mean, fingers crossed, but I'm just glad that it sounds like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, the Celtics haven't set, or there's no timetable right now. He's actually in surgery, we believe, as we are recording this. We definitely wish him with the best, but I mean, this team, Alex, you hinted at it, they were so young to begin with, and now without Hayward, you could just kind of see it, play out on the court. They don't move the ball like a team that has a lot of continuity and years experience under their belt. It's a little brutal to watch at times.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of Brad Stevens' system is predicated on guys moving on a string, and of course that requires guys to know each other, know where to be, and know their spots. And when you're playing with guys that are 20 and 19 and rookies and guys playing their first ever NBA minutes, it's really difficult to expect much from them. You could see throughout the game, Al Horford is telling teammates where to go and where to be on the court, whether he's in the game or on the bench. So it's the Celtics are really behind the 8 ball now. They really need some more vets on the court, guys who already know how to play. And that showed. This Milwaukee Bucks team is a serious team, and they're the worst type of team to play if you're relying on one-on-one basketball.
Yeah, it seemed like the Celtics offense kind of bogged down into that at times. It was kind of a nightmare game for KYRIE IRVING. I don't think this is the type of play that he envisioned. It was again just a little bit too much one-on-one. But he was 7 of 25 for the game, and yeah, I mean he played nearly 40 minutes too. Wow. So I mean, he got 3 steals on the other hand. So I mean, he only finished on a -2 on the night, despite that terrible shooting start. But yeah, what's it going to take for the Celtics to at least piece together some sort of functional offense when the opposing team ups their energy level as the Bucks did down the stretch?
I mean, I think it all falls on KYRIE IRVING. It's right now it's a little hard for me to not view everything Kyrie's doing out there to what maybe Isaiah Thomas would have done. I know he's adjusting to the new team and everything like that, and we expected that, but it's hard because I don't think Isaiah Thomas ever had a game as bad as that, and it's just hard watching Kyrie revert back into some of those bad habits, like holding the ball way too long and forcing his shot when it wasn't really there time and time again. But this team goes as far as Kyrie will take them at this point, and if he can be the leader on and off the court and really distribute the ball and take over games, because I think the Celtics are going to need him to take over in the fourth like Isaiah Thomas did last year without Gordon Hayward. So if he can do those things, we could see a similar team, I think.
Yeah, to go off that, I don't think it's fair to view this in the realm of IT versus Irving. They're very different circumstances. Isaiah Thomas, I guess the most fresh memory we have in our heads is his career year, coming off his third year in this system with the same vets, and there was that familiarity and continuity that you need in Brad Stevens' offense. Kyrie Irving right now is playing with 19 and 20-year-olds and kids in a new system, not just for other people, but for him. And he's adjusting himself to the new environment. So as much as like he is a star and you want to see him, like pick up the team and just score and do all the stuff that Isaiah did, it's hard to expect that from him right now, considering what he is working with. I do think as this. Mm-hmm.
But that was some of the greatness with Isaiah Thomas. Irving got to the line 2 times in this game. When Isaiah had plenty of nights when his shot wasn't falling, but he found a way to get buckets and get to the line, especially get to the line. I think Kyrie Irving or someone else is going to need to be able to draw fouls, because during that scoring drought, they just needed someone to make a play, and it turned out to be Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen couldn't hit his foul shot.
Yeah, I hear that, but also at the same time, like they're 2 very different players, and even when Isaiah was getting to the line, it's not like he was clearing out, going ISO and getting to the line. It was coming off of off-ball action, going through screens, getting through handoffs, attacking those angles, and based off tonight, the Celtics don't even have that type of sophistication on offense to even do something like that to make it easier for Kyrie. So as much as like I want, like we want to see Kyrie replicate or even surpass what Isaiah did, like it takes 5 guys in this system, and right now we're not getting it. It's the best I could say.
Yeah, so, I mean, if, like, Gordon Hayward should have been out there, with the crunch time lineup, and I don't think the offense would have bogged down quite as much. But the way the Bucks trap, you just kind of need that, like, release valve, right? And that, Horford can do that a little bit. But Gordon Hayward was really supposed to be that guy. And the fact that they don't have him, I think Alex hit the nail on the head, that it's just like, against this Bucks team, it really means death on the offensive end. And Kyrie has to be better, and he will be better. I don't think there's going to be too many nights where he's going to be going 7 for 25. But the Celtics got to figure this out. How to deal with pressure on Kyrie Irving, because I think teams are just going to leave the rookies and young guys alone and just concentrate their defensive activity on Kyrie. So there's definitely going to be an adjustment period, but you do want to see the Celtics, I guess, buy it a little bit more and just try and get the ball moving when the opposing team ups their defense. It's easier said than done. How do you think that the Celtics can at least unlock a little bit better ball movement and get the ball to their scorers in advantageous positions?
For one, we have to stop with this Marcus Smart posting up stuff. I think it can create.
It's a little excessive, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think it can create good offense if you're like in the second unit and you have a lot of the young guys and he's like they're backing down like a backup point guard, like, or Kyle Korver. Like that's fine, but you just can't, like, he can't do that because it turned into him backing people down. Everyone's standing around. No one really knows what to do. The Bucks are just just chilling in the paint, waiting, and it bogs down the offense. It stops the ball movement, and he's not. It's like like if posting up was a real thing that was effective and teams wanted to do it, Jahlil Okafor would be a max player right now. They're the reason why he's not. Like, this is not an efficient type of offense, and I think we need to. I think for sure I don't like the Smart and Irving pairing. I think Smart needs to come off the bench, even if that means someone like Rozier starts. We just need to get the ball in Irving's hands. We need to run a lot of pick and rolls. We need to get our Horford being the secondary initiator and keep the movement like that and have shooters on the floor. And then maybe have Smart come in and change the pace and then do the posting up with the second unit. But we can't have a majority of our offense going through Marcus Smart posting up. No, I can't go through a whole season with that.
Yeah, it's like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
Yeah, it's rough when you're debating. You're calling you'd have to be calling Rozier the shooter in that scenario, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, we would.
That's where we're at right now. Yeah.
Hey, you went 3 for 5.
Yeah, you just have.
Hey, he might be making the leap. I don't know. I mean, this is what, his 3rd year, right? He's 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like he wasn't a shooter in college, too. Like, he was a decent shooter in college. It's not, I think I have more faith in Rozier hitting open spot up shots than I have in Marcus Smart ever.
Who would you rather take the clutch shot?
Between Rozier and Smart?
Between Rozier and Smart.
See, that's funny. The clutch shot, I'd rather have Smart, but any other time, throughout any other point, throughout any other situation in the game, it would be Rozier. But Smart in the clutch.
Yeah, I remember in those playoffs. I remember those playoffs where Rozier had like a bunch of clutch threes. I remember in this particular game where Smart had a clutch three-pointer that could have made it a real game at the end, and it didn't go in. So I don't know about that. Okay, fair enough.
But 1 for 6 from the foul line, not very good for Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart's my favorite player, but he needs to stop flopping on offense. Flopping on defense, he gets the calls, but they're not going to give it to him both ways. And just like too much ball stopping and forcing way too tough of shots, doing one-on-one ISO, waiting for the shot clock to wind down. I'm not sure. It seems like Marcus is a guy who really loves to take those shots, but I'm not sure if he's fit for it.
Do we think that Marcus Smart is playing for a contract right now? Do you think that has anything to do with the way he's been playing?
I think this is like the same Marcus Smart that I've been seeing, at least. Yeah, he's a little skiddier, but I don't know if the shots improve. But I mean, shooting too many shots, I think that's pretty classic Marcus Smart, especially when the Celtics are shorthanded. So I'm not seeing anything, at least particularly different in his play style. What have you noticed anything?
For me, it's I don't know, man. I kind of feel it, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm biased. I know that it's a contract year for him, so I might be just correlating those type of things whenever he makes a bad play. But it does seem like he's being very overly aggressive sometimes on offense, and I think that's a big part of why the Celtics didn't have as much ball movement even in this game, because he seems very keen on being like that ball handler, very keen on trying to create those shots, even like not even passing to Kyrie sometimes, just trying to go like one-on-one. I don't know. I see those things and I think it kind of creeps in my head that maybe like the contract is getting in his head and he's out to prove something.
Yeah, maybe. I almost see it as more like a symptom of just the Celtics were just like failing to create good looks, and guys were just, I think it wasn't just Marcus, guys were just trying like too hard instead of kind of trusting in one another. All right, we'll get to the good in just a second here, but first let's get to the great. This episode is sponsored by Greats, makers of the all-time greats, classic, stylish, and comfortable sneakers sold at a great price. They're Brooklyn's first sneaker company. They sell all the greats, classic styles made the best for less. They have a wide selection of men's and women's shoes. They have tons of versatile styles that are suitable for any occasion, plenty of different colors and materials to choose from. You've seen, I think, the Royale Lace-Up. Evan's been showing off that. Yeah, definitely check out our old episodes to see Evan promoting those. They look pretty good. So check out those. Check out lots of other styles on greats.com. We got a special deal just for our audience here. You can save 15% on your first order. Just use our promo code Celtics Roundtable. Go to greats.com and be sure to enter Celtics Roundtable to save 15% at checkout. They offer a no-risk return and exchange policy to guarantee that you get the right fit in a style you love. Just go to greats.com and use our code Celtics Roundtable and save 15%. All right, I teased it just a second ago, but there was at least some good to be extracted from this game. Rozier looks a million times more confident. I think Jaylen Brown, just the way that he's attacking the basket and particularly like his work in transition, it's really impressive. I think that he's, the Celtics need him to take a step forward, and Brad Stevens has said that they're asking a lot of him. He might be up to the task, at least in some of these areas. What'd you guys see?
Yeah, so with Jaylen Brown, I'm definitely seeing like at least an improvement in his aggression level. I thought even last year in that last series against the Cavs, he showed that he could be someone that could be dynamic in transition and getting to lane and attacking. And it looks like this year he made it like a thing that this is what he's going to do, this is what he's going to be good at. And he's making it work so far. The big thing with him this year is that if he can get his spot-up shooting to work, which again would come from when the team starts moving the ball better, then he gets more of those looks. If that can, become a thing where he's at least shooting it maybe slightly under league average, then we have a pretty good offensive player on our hands. But as of right now, I am enjoying what he is doing in transition and his aggression getting to the hole. You talked a little earlier about, I think Jonathan talked a little bit earlier about guys getting to the line. He could be one of those guys to help fill that void that we lost of IT.
Yeah, it's got to knock him down, though. He was 4 for 5. I mean, I'll take that from Jaylen, but that's something that he's historically struggled with.
4 for 5, you definitely take that from Jaylen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah, he was 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. So
yeah,
18, 5, and 3 for Jaylen. He did foul out. I mean, I don't know how you can judge his defense. He looked really good in the preseason. I think he had like a 78 or something like that defensive rating in the preseason, which is excellent. But the last 2 games he's gone up against perhaps 2 of the front runners for MVP. So difficult to judge there. I think we'll have a better handle on what Jaylen's capable of on the defensive end over the next week.
Yeah, second-year player, it would be very unfair to judge Jaylen's defense in this 2-game sample size versus Giannis and LeBron. It didn't look pretty, but I'm holding out optimism that he can be that defender. But going back to just the improvements for Rozier and Brown, I think that confidence stems off of the Celtics playoff run last year, where Terry hit some big shots in the Washington series and played really well, and Jaylen showed up for the Cavs series, and they're just riding that momentum. And I think, the Hayward injury really opens that door for Jaylen, Jason, and Terry to show up.
Yeah, I like your idea of starting Terry Rozier. He might be the Celtics' second best shooter right now. As crazy as that sounds. He finished with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line. I can dig it.
Yeah, but starting, Rozier on defense with KYRIE at the point, the Celtics wanted to move away.
His D's been good, right?
Yeah, no, it has, but they wanted to move away from the Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley small guard backcourt. Marcus Smart a little bigger. Again, I mean, they game planned everything in the preseason under the assumption that Hayward would be there. So I'm not really going to look in too deep to these games because, everything's a ton of emotion and not the best basketball. But I just think having size in the backcourt is big, and I prefer Marcus there, I think.
And to follow, and I think
choosers.
to follow that up, this isn't really like a long-term thing. When Marcus Morris comes back, they're probably just going to plug him in, honestly, and just keep Brown and Tatum there. Yeah. So what we're talking about now is probably something that, for maybe like Friday and then maybe the next game after that. But I think long-term, Stevens might just opt to go big with Brown, Tatum, and Morris all starting.
Yeah, and Morris is skilled enough both shooting the ball and passing the ball that he can alleviate some of those ball movement woes. I guess he'll be part of the crunch time lineup. I would guess maybe. The Celtics are just going to be so desperate for shooting out there, and he can do a little bit of everything. So, the Celtics are definitely going to be looking forward to Morris's return. They basically need all the bodies they can get right now. All right, any final thoughts? Any other notes that you guys took that you want to get in before we wrap this up?
Probably the only other note I would have is probably on Jason Tatum. He's looked pretty impressive on both ends of the floor. You would still kind of want to see him shoot a little better. I was kind of hoping for him to be a little bit more aggressive with his jump shot. I know he's probably a rookie, so trying to fill it out. And even at times, I might be okay with him taking a couple of mid-range if it meant like him getting in a rhythm or something like that. He's going to be someone that if he's starting, he's going to need to be a threat because without Gordon Hayward, the MO is out. Teams are just going to blitz KYRIE and force the ball out of his hands, and they're asking other Celtics to beat them. And I think Jason Tatum, if he has the confidence, he can be someone that can make them pay a little bit. So let's get Jason Tatum more touches.
Yeah, he played 37 minutes. He just needs to shoot more. 7 shots is not enough in 37 minutes when the team is struggling for offense. Honestly, I would have been fine with ISO Jason Tatum pull-up. Probably would have gotten a couple baskets out of it. But quick shout-out to a friend of the show, Abdul Nader. 4 points, 2 baskets, 2 dunks. That was cool. He got in early in the first quarter, and he might be in this rotation, believe it or not.
He was in before Ogilvy, though. Like that didn't sit right with me. I don't know. Like I guess like that Brad Stevens just kind of wanted like a little bit more playmaking and shooting out there. But I mean, Ogilvy can shoot the ball, and He's a much better
There's
defender.
something about Ojale that's not hitting it with Brad Stevens, because he's definitely put guys like Yabu, Tice, Nader over him even throughout the preseason. I think maybe it's his aggression on offense. He's kind of like a floater. He doesn't really like look for his shot as much. He's not very opportunistic, and that's something Nader is. He looks for his shot. He's not afraid to take it, and I think maybe that's what Brad Stevens was looking for when he brought him in first.
No, if you watch preseason and summer league, Nader is not afraid to shoot.
That he is not. All right, that'll do it here for Celtics Roundtable out here on the Boston Celtics newsfeed. If you like this show, hit subscribe. And if you like listening to us on the go, you can go ahead and subscribe to the Boston Celtics newsfeed. Be sure to hit the like video if you're watching us on YouTube. I want to thank Alex Kungu and my brother Jonathan for joining me today for this Thursday tape breakdown. I have a feeling the Celtics will pull it together, maybe get a win over Philly in Friday's game. But before that... That's right. But before that, we're going to have Friday Fights with Jonathan Levy. Jared Weiss is going to be on there tomorrow, as well as Sam Sheehan. So we'll be looking forward to that. All right, I want to thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time here on Celtics Roundtable.